Hello students. So far in our syllabus we had discussed about the formation of different celestial bodies in the universe. We will learn that nebula or the cloud of gases is considered to be the base for all different celestial bodies in our universe. Also, we had learned that some of them are called gaseous giants like the Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, etc., and other which were near to the suns were considered as these terrestrial planets like Earth, Mars, Mercury, Venus, etc. And all these celestial bodies revolve around the sun. Among all these planets, Earth is the only unique planet where life exists. So our studies focused on viewing the elements on Earth. On our previous video, we had learned about Earth structure, in which we discussed about the internal structure of the Earth, where we have seen that the interior layer are divided into three divisions like the crust, mantle and the core, where we have learned that the velocity of the earthquake waves like P waves, S waves and L waves changes in reaching all these layers. Some of these waves diverted towards the surface, some of these waves can penetrate through these layers. We also have learned that there is a discontinuity layer in between mantle and the crust, which is known as the Morovicic discontinuity, and the discontinuity layer that is between the mantle and the core is also termed as Gutenberg discontinuity. So our today's topic is on the basis of based on landforms. So the landforms are the natural features that developed on the surface of the earth due to the endogenic and exogenic forces applied on the surface. Some of the major landforms are mountains, plateaus and plains. So our topic is mainly directed towards understanding these landforms. The theory of plate tectonics states that the Earth's solid outer crust, that is the lithosphere, is separated into plates that moves over the asthenosphere, which is molten upper portion of the mantle. And all of these plate boundaries generates distinct geological process and landforms. And these tectonic plates are broken into 17 pieces. Among them, the major one is the Pacific plate, the Indian plate, and the Eurasian plate, etc. It is believed that the heat from the Earth's formation, or during the time when Earth formed, that heat is incredibly still trapped inside our planet. And the same heat is the driving force for the plate movement. So the rising molten heat, the force or the magma that rises from the earth interior, okay, that rising molten heat forces our planet apart in some places. On the other hand, at the converging plate boundaries, means at that location where the two tectonic plates are moving in the same direction, at that particular point we call it as a converging plate boundaries. The tectonic plates pushes them together, okay, and the reason where the tectonic plates are moving apart or they are moving in a different directions, in that particular region we call it as the divergent plate boundaries. In these particular regions, a gap or a ridge is formed, like the diverging rift are developed along the region of diverging plate boundaries. Apart from that, many other activities like volcanic activities take places. Volcanoes erupt in the region of diverging plate boundaries, and new oceanic crusts are developed or new continents are developed along this region. Now, So along the region of the converging plate boundaries, when the continent or tectonic plates collide with one another, so along this region, the rock strata gets folded. So due to the folding of the rock strata, it forms a fold mountain, or the mountain rises in this particular region. Here we have an example of the Himalayan mountain. When the Indian plate and the Eurasian plate collided with one another, then folding took place in between the Tirthas region, so which result in the formation of the Himalayan mountain. So due to the colliding of these tectonic plates at this region, terrible earthquake take places. It also result into tsunami. Apart from that, along the plate margin, when the two tectonic plates, oceanic plates and the continental plates merges or collide at this particular region, due to the melting of the continental oceanic crust, okay, this oceanic crust get melted, so due to which volcanic activity, severe volcanic explosion or activities take place in this particular regions. Due to volcanic activities, underwater volcanic activities may also result into the natural catastrophic like tsunami. Okay, now we'll try and understand the concept of landform development. So far we have seen that the convective currents drives the tectonic plates, resulting in formation of different types of landform on the surface of the earth. The place where the two tectonic plate converge, in that particular region we can see folding activities take place, resulting in the formation of fold mountains. Now you can see the image of a fold mountain here. So mountains have very steep slope, they do not have fertile soil, and generally the mountains are either covered by forest or snow, and these areas have very low density of population, very less people live here due to lack of proper transportation and other facilities. Apart from that, food gathering, huntings and grazing are some of the activities done in the mountainous region. Mountain act as a barrier between different region and culture in these regions. For example, India and China are separated by Himalayan mountain range and have a different cultures. Apart from that, the monsoon wind blowing from the Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal is also blocked by this Himalayan mountain range, due to which the southern side of the Himalayan range receive sufficient amount of rainfall, whereas the northern facing Himalayan range do not receive rainfall. Okay, now we'll discuss about different types of mountain. So starting with the fold mountain, then we'll discuss about the block mountain, and we'll discuss about the volcanic mountain, and lastly we'll be discussing about the residual mountain. Okay, so we'll start with the fold mountain first. Now these type of mountains are most widespread. They are the major type of mountain on the earth. These type of mountains are formed by large-scale movement of the Earth's crust, especially horizontal movement or horizontal compressional force. These fold mountains are the highest in the world. Examples such as the Himalayas, the Alps in Europe, okay, Andes are some of the examples of these mountains. Now let us discuss about the block mountain. These type of mountains are formed due to the development of the fault or crack on the surface of the earth. There are two types of fault, that is normal fault and the reverse fault. Now in case of the reverse fault, the block of the crust moves in the upward direction against the gravitational force. Okay, so this uplifted blocks forms the block mountain, and in case of normal fault, the blocks get shifted down due to the gravitational force. You can see it's a rift valley. In between this rift valley, a block mountain is formed. Okay, so now we'll be discussing about the volcanic mountain. Now what is volcanic mountain, how it is developed, we'll be discussing about it one by one. So volcanic mountains are built when molten lava, ash, cinder and dust from deep inside the earth comes out on the surface through crack in the earth's crust and accumulates. So a magma chamber is a reservoir of magma within the earth crust beneath a volcano. The viscous magma trap hot gases within it, which are released suddenly during an eruption. And the magma originally that is oceanic crust also contains large volume of water, which is a gaseous state of steam, increases pressure within the vent. The release of gases and steam under high pressure increases the likelihood of a violent eruption. The opening through which lava and other materials comes to the Earth's surface is called a vent. A funnel-shaped depression at the top of a vent is also called crater. The rock plug left below the crater forms a previous eruption. Blows off violently, creating hell of ash and rocks. Violent eruption result in the collapse of the top of the cone. Secondary or the parasitic cones are formed on the side of the volcanic mountain. The cone steep sides are formed after the sticky acid lava pour down the side of the end. Each eruption first produces rock fragments which are later covered by lava, forming the alternate layers of the volcanic mountain sides. There are different types of volcanoes based on the frequency of eruption. So that is the dormant volcano. The best example is Mount Fujiyama, and we have the active volcano. Mount Pinatubo is the best example for it. There are many others like Barren Island in India, and this volcano erupts frequently. And the last type is the extinct volcano. Extinct volcanoes are those volcanoes that have erupted many years ago. Now there is no chance of eruption. Okay, now we'll be discussing about the residual mountain, or the mountain of denudation, or we can call it as a relict mountain. Now these mountains are found in the areas exposed to various types of weathering, mass wasting and erosion for a long period of time. For examples, we have Aravallis is also termed as a relict mountain because the greater portion of this mountain's range is eroded. So this erosion is done maybe due to the wind action, maybe due to the action of running water, or maybe due to the movement of glaciers. So these are some of the images showing the examples of relict mountain throughout the world. The relict or the residual mountain are also formed due to the erosion of plateaus. For example, the Deccan Plateau has been eroded by numerous rivers. These rivers formed broad open valleys. The part of plateau which has not been eroded by river has remained at higher elevation. This portion is termed as mountains. Example, the Western Ghats. Okay, hope you have understood about the concept of the residual mountain and other topics that I have discussed in this video. If you have any doubt, you can leave your message in my personal number. Thank you, all of you.